Hi, and welcome to Gadget News and Review. We are home to some of the coolest gadgets, and the best consumer reviews online, buyer's guides and features. If you like our review, please subscribe for more upcoming reviews videos. Acer Swift 3 Review. Don't be deceived, this laptop is better than it looks. The Acer Swift 3 is the new budget laptop from the Taiwanese manufacturer, whose past projects include a $9,000 £9,000, about 15,120 Australian dollars gaming laptop and the world's thinnest Ultrabook. So, you'd be pardoned for thinking Acer would do the same with the Swift 3. But, if the Acer Swift 7 is Acer's flagship, the Acer Swift 3 is a cheaper, more approachable version of that. Once you look underneath the hood, however, the Acer Swift 3 will blow you away with powerful components that feel right at home within its all-aluminum chassis. Once you look beneath the surface, however, the Acer Swift 3 will blow your mind with powerful components that feel right at home within its all-aluminum chassis. If you just want an affordable laptop that will get you through your daily workloads without breaking a sweat, the Acer Swift 3 may be just what you're looking for. It won't be the most powerful hardware on the market, nor will it be the most attractive, but it does make full use of its 15-inch Full HD display, 3.53 pounds of heft and a 0.71-inch frame. The Acer Swift 3 starts off at $479 in the US, with a similar model for £399 in the UK, and in Australia for $999 Australian dollars. The entry-level US model gets you a 7th-generation Intel Core i3 processor (CPU), 4GB of memory (RAM), and a 128GB SSD. The equivalent in Australia bumps up the RAM to 8GB. Like many laptops on the market right now, you can configure the Acer Swift 3 at checkout, and each version is complete with unique specs and pricing. Plus, you should be aware that the Acer Swift 3 has been updated with 8th generation Intel Kaby Lake refresh processors. If you want the most powerful configuration of the Acer Swift 3, the top-end model will set you back $999 in the US, but caps out at £849 and $1,899 Australian dollars in the UK and Australia, respectively. All three of these high-end configurations boast Intel Core i7-8565U processors. The only other difference is the storage. It's limited to a 256GB SSD in the US, rather than the 512GB available in the UK and Australia. The configuration we used for our review is no longer available in the US Acer store. Currently, the cheapest configuration with an i5 processor will set you back $629 and get you an 8th generation i5 chip, an 8GB plus 16GB Intel Optane memory and 1TB hard drive. In the UK and Australia, you'll find a slightly similar model for £429 $1,599 Australian dollars with the same processor and memory but less storage. However, you should remember that you're going to be stuck with the 1080p display whichever configuration you get. If you're looking for a 4K display, you'll have to look elsewhere. One of the smartest choices Acer made when they designed the Acer Swift 3 was the inclusion of legacy ports, the most notable of which are two USB 3.0 connections and an SD card slot. Even so, laptop futurists need not worry, as there's still a single USB 3.1 Type-C port sitting snugly on the left side of the chassis. Additionally, the keyboard feels way better than Apple's 12-inch clamshell of yesteryear, and is beautifully complemented by nifty backlighting, of which there are 4 levels including off. Below the directional keys is this pint-sized fingerprint reader, designed to be used in conjunction with Microsoft's Hello Login feature. We couldn't get it to work perfectly on the first go, but it's still a great addition once you get used to how the slim design doesn't quite fully fit your finger. Where the Acer Swift 3 doesn't succeed is in its sound. We're still not sure why laptop manufacturers continue to put downward-firing speakers. It seems very counterintuitive to us, especially on a standard, non-hybrid notebook like this one. There is no excuse for this. The audio on the Acer Swift 3 is effectively muffled as a result of this move, to the point where we can't tell if the speakers are actually any good. At least the headphone jack is still there, along with Bluetooth connectivity and 4 USB ports. If you're keen on using your own pair of earbuds or over-the-ear cans, you have plenty of options to choose from. Among the Acer Swift 3's most redeeming qualities is its performance. No matter which model and configuration you go with, you're getting full-on Intel Core U series processors, not the low-frequency Y series chips you'd find in the Swift 7 or the Core M3 you would find in an entry-level MacBook. This puts the Acer Swift 3 on the same playing field as much pricier machines. Performance-wise, it isn't too far off from the $999, £979, $1,499 Surface laptop, or even the $1,049, £1,199, $2,299 Asus ZenBook UX310UA. Despite coming up short in terms of screen resolution, its innards are eerily similar to both of these devices, which means it can hold its own against its more popular rivals. While we can't compare the Acer Swift 3's benchmarks to the Surface laptop, mostly because its Microsoft competitor is running on Windows 10 in S mode, the Swift 3 beat the Asus ZenBook in every test that challenged its processor and graphics. In the DirectX 11 Skydiver benchmark, for instance, the Acer Swift 3 scored 1,870 points more than the ZenBook. Also worth noting is that the Swift 3 attained nearly double the frame rate of the ZenBook UX310UA in the Cinebench OpenGL test, claiming 42 frames per second (FPS) against the ZenBook's 21.69 FPS. As such, we're convinced that the Acer Swift 3 has a clear advantage when it comes to graphical output. It's the clear winner for light gaming and other media-focused tasks. Even in the PCMark 8 battery life test, the Acer Swift 3 managed to beat out the Asus ZenBook UX310UA, albeit by only a handful of minutes. The Swift 3 lasted 4 hours and 18 minutes in comparison to the ZenBook's 4 hours and 13 minutes. That's hardly a noteworthy difference, but that does go to show that you don't need to fork over more than $1,000 for solid performance coupled with a sufficient battery life. Even more impressive, though, are the results demonstrated by the Acer Swift 3 in our own movie test, where we loop the film Guardians of the Galaxy at 1080p until the machine dies. Therein, this laptop outperformed the Asus ZenBook UX310UA by over 3 hours, having survived a total of 8 hours and 3 minutes of the popular superhero action comedy. It even comes strikingly close to the Surface laptop, which lasted 8 hours and 47 minutes in Windows 10s, a thin client-esque operating system known for its improved power efficiency. With powerful components and long battery life, the Acer Swift 3 doesn't just rock the slimmest profile or even standout appearances, it also packs the specs of a laptop that should set you back several $100s more. What's more, a spacious trackpad, backlit keyboard and wide array of ports give even the MacBook Air a run for its money. It's unfortunate that, what with all the positive things it's got going for it, the Acer Swift 3 looks every bit like a budget laptop. Not nearly as distinguished in its design as other laptops on the market, such as the HP Spectre or the Lenovo Yoga 910, it's hard to talk about the Acer Swift 3 without mentioning how plain-looking it is. The sad speaker situation doesn't help, either. However, the Acer Swift 3's aesthetic and lackluster speakers mustn't turn you off. You won't find a much better value than the Acer Swift 3.